Hello and welcome everyone to another episode of At the Well. I'm Lady Ann and I will be your host for today. Now, At the Well is a virtual meetup that is designed to help facilitate the divine match between the husband ready man and his comparable helper. So, who is a husband ready man? The husband ready man is a man who has attained the age of accountability, who is hardworking, who has found his divine assignment, taken full responsibility for leading himself, and is ready to take up the responsibility of leading his helper comparable towards their God ordained future. And a comparable is a woman who has also attained the age of accountability and is now ready to leave all else to cleave to her husbandman, bringing all her strength to the fulfillment of the husbandman divine destiny. Now, without further ado, let's welcome in our first set of helpers comparable.
Morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you all so much for joining us. Hello and welcome to At the Well, another episode of At the Well. I'm going to start with our husband ready man. These are the rules of engagement. We will have you introduce yourself with your name, your age, location, and profession. Please proceed.
Okay, thank you very much, Ma, for the platform. Um, it's kind of surreal right now to be speaking with you directly because I've been following up. I've been following up on Instagram for a while, and I like what you're doing. I like it's unfortunate that we don't have somebody that has this platform to reach out to men. But I do borrow in and borrow ideas from your teachings a lot. So I've really been blessed by your teaching. So straight to the point. I'm here in school. My name is Ephraim Chidi, and I'm 35 years old. Um, I reside in West Virginia State, where I'm a student. I'm a PhD student here. In my heading to my fifth year at West Virginia University. And yeah, like I said, I'm a graduate student for now, hoping to graduate in a couple of years and get gainful employment.
Mhm.
I don't know
What,
if
what,
you have anything.
oh, I'm sorry about that. So, what would you be graduating in? A bit more clarity for the ladies.
Okay, so I'm doing a PhD program in chemistry. So most likely, the job there for me, I'm looking at maybe pharmaceutical industry, the pharma or the biotech companies, like going into industry after my academy.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Now, over to our ladies, the same rules of engagement. What is your name? What is your age, your location, and profession? So, we're going to start with Yashika.
Hi, how are you
Very
guys?
well.
Well, my name, can you hear me good?
Yes.
Okay, good, good. So my name is Yashika. I am 32 yesterday.
Hey.
I'm, thank you. I'm from Miami, Florida, but I'm currently in Iowa. I'm a travel nurse, a registered nurse. I've been a registered nurse for about going on a year and a half, almost 2 years. So I really love this profession. I'm learning so much while I'm here traveling. Yeah, that's pretty much about me.
Amazing. Thank you. Now, over to you, Carissa. What is your name, age, location, and profession?
Hi, good morning, everyone. Well, good morning, good day. I'm not too sure which so everyone. I'm in Toronto, Canada, so that's my location. My name is Caressa. I'm 34 years. I'm also a nurse. I've been a nurse for 8 years. I love it.
Okay. She's been a nurse for 8 years. All right. Okay. So we're going to proceed to the next step. Now, back again to the husband ready man. What do you understand to be the role of a husband, and what do you understand to be your God-given assignment?
Okay. What I understand to be the role of a man will be a, um, a gardener like Adam. They gave him the assignment to guard the garden. So there, and by God gave him Eve, and the assignment he had over Eve was to like groom Eve, to groom Eve into the perfect image. So I see a husbandman as a groomer, someone that grooms, someone that leads the family with vision and with intentions. I see a husbandman as a protector. I see a husbandman as a provider, and yeah, mostly giving guide, leading the family into the right direction, to where God is taking the family towards. And what I see as my purpose, it's in what would I say? Would I say cater, or I wouldn't say I have the full scope of my purpose, but what I know is that God is calling me into the area of like I think I have the ministry of Peter, if I can use that, because depending on how God is dealing with me, like how Peter, he told Peter, he said, the enemy has desired to sieve you, but I've prayed that you should not fall. But when you stand, strengthen your brethren. So I see my ministry in the area of like strengthening the younger generation. And in my church currently, I serve in the teenage department. I'm a teenage teacher. So I think that's the area of my calling. That's where I excel the most. Strengthening, encouraging the young, the future of the church. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you for that answer. Now, to help us comparable, starting with Carissa, what do you understand to be the role of a wife, and what do you understand to be your God-given assignment?
Yeah, so what I was saying that my understanding of being godly ordained wife is first and foremost one woman that can assist the man that the Lord has brought to her to nurture the home, to nurture the family, also to be someone that he can walk and do life with, a confident, someone that he can trust in prayer warrior that can also pray with him. We all know that there are challenges in life, so for me, I think that it's very important to be a godly that walk alongside the husband that the Lord, um, fulfilling kingdom assignment, doing the work of the Lord, but also having a balanced life and having a balanced home with the children.
Thank you, Carissa. Thank you. Now over to you, Yashika. What do you
Oh,
be?
sorry, apologies. I forgot to answer the second part of the question regarding my
True.
yes. I say coach, coach, uh, really love where I could basically walk with someone to grow in their intimacy with the Lord. Especially it doesn't matter if they are a male or a female, but I've noticed in my past a lot of times pastors will bring people to me and disciple them and mentor them and mature them, help them mature more in their walk with God through prayer and reading or just mentorship. So I've really loved and grown and developed that. So that's my calling in mentorship and coaching.
Thank you very much, Carissa. Now over to you, Yashika. What do you understand to be the role of a wife, and what do you understand to be your God-given assignment?
So what I understand with the role of a wife is that number one, she has to be a woman that prays. I feel as though when you pray, you're covering your family essentially spiritually. I feel like the man, of course, is the head, but as a woman, you're married to your husband, you have children. Your role is to really pray. Um, it's not just prayer, but it's also a way of protection as well. Um, Someone who, of course, is able to, if the husband is not home, able to help in her home, be a helper to him. And not only that, but also be a help of to others, not just her husband, to others, to other people. I feel like a role of a wife is someone who, of course, knows how to cook, clean, but also is someone who's a good listener, someone who is willing to learn from her husband, not just, you know, be the one to have everything to say. I feel the role of a good wife is someone who can sit down and humble herself, not just before God, but this is now a husband. Because being single, you really just kind of do everything yourself, but having the humility to be able to say, let me humble myself because the Lord has blessed me with a husband. So let me humble myself and let me submit. I feel like a role of a wife is also to be submissive, And of course, everyone knows Proverbs 31. I feel like that's such a famous verse that all women use today. And so, really, to be a Proverbs 31 woman, to be able to be successful, to be able to wake up early. I like to wake up early, even though I'm a nurse. I work overnight. I still do like to wake up early if I can, and get my day started. And I feel like that's also a role that you would need to play in the home. Um, and then your second question is one more
What
time.
do you understand to be your God-given assignment?
Okay. What I understand to be my God given assignment, well, I was saved at 17. I'm 32 now. And so, to be honest with you, I'm going to be honest. When I first got saved, all I could do was prophesy to people. I didn't know what that was. I would tell someone, you're going to get this by this time, and they would actually get it by that time. And then one day I went to a conference in Miami. It's called CAP, a prophetic and apostolic conference. And I had my first encounter with God on that day, a supernatural encounter with God. And I had never read the Bible before. I, at the time, was scared of the Bible because I had thought the Bible was, very scary. This is doom. But I never read the Bible, and I just had an encounter with God where the Lord told me to open the book of Ezekiel, and I was going crazy because I didn't know if there was an Ezekiel in the Bible. And so all of my other friends, we were all youth, having encounters, and I was like, "Is there an Ezekiel in the Bible?" And they were like, "I think there's an Ezekiel." And so I opened the Bible, and I was in shock because there was actually an Ezekiel in the Bible at the time. And I read it, and there was a verse in there that said that Ezekiel went to a rebellious house, and that the Lord told Ezekiel to tell those people that there was a prophet among them. And so that's when I understood, okay, the Lord, you have me on this assignment. And ever since then, I have been serving in ministry for 13 years. Um, I love the youth. I'm also a mentor. And so I'm able to give back to God in that way. But I know that God has called me to this generation of women, young adults, really. And then hopefully when I get older, the elderly. So, yeah.
Thank you very much for that response. All right, so starting with the ladies, would you would would both of you like to continue this conversation with the husband ready man?
Yes.
Okay, and to the husband ready man, which of these ladies would you like to continue the conversation with?
I think at this point, both of them.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
both of them,
that's good
both
as
of them
well.
still have like interesting personalities that I would like to dig deeper. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Much. All right. So we're going to start with the husband ready man. What questions do you have for the ladies?
Okay. Probably I didn't get this part very well. This question goes to Yashika. So, what did you say your location was?
I am from Miami, Florida, but I currently am doing a travel nurse assignment in Iowa.
Okay, Iowa. Um,
It's upstate from Virginia. It's like Midwest between Wisconsin and Illinois.
okay. Okay. And
Mhm.
have you? I don't know if it's the time, but to ask this question. But have you entertained a long distance relationship before? How did that work out?
I've been in a long distance relationship before. Unfortunately, it didn't work out, and that was just due to um, it just wasn't God's will, really. But I didn't have an issue with long distance. However, it was just not God's will at the time.
Okay. And this question is to Carissa. The same question, like, what's your location again? Your
So,
location, and if you are comfortable with long distance relationship, how?
yeah.
Yeah.
So I currently live in Toronto, Canada, um, north of the United States of America. Yeah, so I have been in a long distance relationship before, and it did not work because of it wasn't the bone of my bone and of my flesh. It wasn't the person that the Lord has in store for me. And so that was the reason why it didn't work out. But long distance relationship is no problem for me once there is open communication, it's no problem.
Okay. If I'm allowed to ask further questions,
Yes, you have the floor for the question.
Okay. So talking about so I want to ask this question. I've been in long distance relationship. I've been in two long distance relationships. The first one was when I was back in Africa, Nigeria. If you know where Nigeria is, um, it didn't work out well, and I think a large contribution to that fact is that I wasn't in proximity or in close proximity with the person I was having the relationship with. And I had a second one when I came over here in the US around 2021. It was almost a 3 year relationship, long distance relationship. She was back in Nigeria. After a while, she went to the UK, and it's been a long distance relationship for like 3 years. And it got to the point where I prayed and I got my own conviction. I felt led to propose to her, and then the sister got cold feet, and she said she needed to pray and get her own conviction. And yeah, I've not heard back from her, but yeah, eventually she told me no. Eventually she came back, so it's been back and forth. So I don't know how. What do you think is the place of like proximity, because we talk about it's not the will of God. Maybe if you were in close proximity with a person, that would have been a different ball game. I don't know if you understand my question.
So your
Like,
question is,
do you
what
measure the impact of like long distance, like not being physically there for your partner? That could be a contribution to failures in the relationship. Because for me, I've experienced it firsthand. So what do you think is the next thing you want to do in the next relationship you get to that's long distance?
all right? Let's start with Carissa.
Thank you. Um, so hmm, with your question, I also believe that some things and the reason why you guys or the long distance relationship, maybe there's some things that the Lord is protecting you from. Maybe that also in that long distance relationship, there are things that you need to develop in yourself, and that person also needs to develop also. Not because you are physically within the same border or within the same country or state, it does not mean a relationship will work out. Communication is important. On the same page, very important. So a lot of times people will say, okay, the factor because we weren't close by, we were in different countries, continents. That's probably why we broke up. But a lot of times, what is that you don't know. We might not all the time. So see it as a, and I also want to say what God has for you, it's for you. Even if it's long distance, even if it's close by, guys live on the same street, it is for you and it will be yours. Right? So it's just to grow in that confidence. Don't look back. That's what Peter said. I press, not looking backwards, but I press forward. So take what you learned from this long distance relationship and you say, hey, what communication or not seeing each other often was the situation or the problem. What can I do now in my next relationship that may, yes.
Thank you, Carissa. Yashika. So this question, um, understanding like the role of proximity in a long distance relationship, and yeah.
So I don't believe that God will say your spouse is just in this one place. They could really be anywhere because God is the God of impossibilities. He makes everything possible. So I think when it comes to a long distance relationship, it takes great communication, boundaries, what you feel is best for you, what you feel is best, what that person feels best for them. I think any long distance relationship can work if the two individuals are able to make it work. If they it's a sacrifice. And so we can't be like, oh, we're ready for marriage if we're not ready to sacrifice, because that also deals with time, that deals with communication, that deals with many things. So it's the both individuals have to be ready for that, saying, okay, this month, when are we going to see each other? and both of you, us, the individuals, making it happen? Are we talking daily? Are we praying daily? Because even if you're in close proximity with the person, if there's no prayer, it doesn't even matter. You know, you need to be able to pray with this person every day. And so prayer also brings you closer spiritually, which then the distance, even though distance is a thing, spiritually, because you're praying, you're closer because you're praying together. And so, to be honest, I think that when relationships don't work in the long distance, relationships also don't work when you're close by, when you're close to each
Mhm.
other. And so, even though it takes just it's just another step of a sacrifice that you both have to make in order for the relationship to work. And if it is God's will, it will work, and you both will have the conviction in your heart to make it work. So that's my take on it.
Thank you for those answers. Do any of you have any question for the husband ready man?
Yes, I do.
All right, go ahead.
So question for how influential is your cul-
No, say that again. How
Your
influential
culture.
is your what?
how influential is your culture going to be on your
Okay, she's asking how influential is your culture going to be in your marriage?
yes.
Okay, that's a very good question. So can you be more specific when you talk about culture? Is there a particular um, habit or character you're referring to? Or
Um yes, for example, you mentioned that you are from Africa, Nigeria. And I know that in Nigerian cultures there are some things that are non-negotiable regarding marriage and how their marriage will lead on. So that's what I want to find out, how influential is your culture towards your, because um, like I said before, it's one thing to have God and the Holy Spirit control your home, but how influential is your culture regarding marriage?
Hmm.
okay,
Like what
so
ideologies or what principles are you
Yes.
going to be imposing in your marriage that will come from the culture that you come from?
okay, to the glory of God, I would say my parents are both parents are Christians and they raised us in the way of the Lord. So the culture that I grew up practicing is the culture of Christianity. So if it comes to probably maybe let me use an aspect, maybe choosing a spouse, some culture will be like, oh, get a spouse from this particular tribe or whatever. No, we were not trained that way. I also growing in the faith. I don't see any reason to work in that culture per se, where I am stigmatized to marry from a particular tribe. So that is out of the table. So I don't look at culture when it comes to like getting settled down for marriage. I'm looking at a partner. I'm looking at the purpose that God has assigned to me and who is God leading me to, or who God deems fit that to help me in that assignment. That's what I'm more into. Maybe the culture. Which other culture would I talk about? The culture of submission or whatever. Thank God for the the ministry of dear Lady Anne, that has exposed a lot of things. And also, I don't know if you know, there are certain pastors I follow their teaching, like Pastor PK. So I've been able to like break free from that myopic thinking, oh, a man is superior or this and that. No, I don't see things that way. I see my wife as me. Both of them shall become one. So the way I treat her is the way I treat myself, right? So basically, the scripture and the people that I consider as mentors in my life have shaped my perspective, not culture shaping my perspective. So I've allowed the word of God more to shape my perspective about anything I do in life, whether marriage, business, or finance, than culture having an influence on me. So I don't know if that's the
Yes, thank
answer.
you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, does anybody have any last question?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Um, Along the lines of culture, are you your family? Are they okay with you marrying somebody that is not Nigerian? That because I'm Jamaican, Dominican French, not Dominican Republic, because people get that wrong. I'm part French, part Jamaican. And so something I do notice is that oftentimes African families, not all, they would like for them to marry within their culture or in the sense background. So would your family be okay with you marrying someone that's not Nigerian? Um, that is from, of course, we're in America here and there are Nigerians here. But would your family be okay with that? Would you be okay with that too?
Yeah. So that I think that's an extension to the question
Hmm.
Carissa asked. Yeah. I'll answer it the same way. My parents have little influence on the decisions I've made so far. Like, don't get me wrong. I don't discard your opinions. Like, I'm a first generation graduate, right? So my parents did not like make it far in terms of maybe academics. Let me put it that way. That does not mean I despise their teaching. So, but most of the decisions I've made in life have been from people outside my family, like mentors in this field, in business, mentors in academics, mentors in relationship, and I'm self-opinionated, if I would say, if I put it that way. I regard your opinion, but I don't. I respect your opinion, but I still make the decisions. Most of the decisions that I have been able to like the directions I've taken, I made those decisions myself and with the help of God. So my parents, they are very open-minded people. They are Christians, like I said again, and not just Christian with a title, but Christian. They are people that I've looked up to, in my work with God. So they understand, they have confidence in me, in my decision, in my actions. And by God's grace, I'm not giving them any reason to doubt it so far. So I think it's not going to be indifferent in the aspect of marriage. So right now, by God's grace, I'm not boasting. I'm 35 years old, and there's not been any kind of um, story that they've heard that maybe that has caused disappointment to them, right? So they have always gotten good reports about me. So they've been like track record of me making right decisions. Let me put it in quotes. So I don't think it's going to be an exemption in even in
Year
marriage.
of marriage.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you. All right. So, ladies, are you all still interested to continue this conversation with the husband ready man?
Yes.
All right. Now, to the husband ready man, which of these women would you like to continue this conversation with?
Wow, that's a tough, tough, tough decision. That's a
Oh,
very
no,
tough decision.
I know.
That's a very tough decision.
Hmm?
But I think because of the distance, I might have to stay back with Yashika because of the distance. Toronto, I don't know how that's gonna work. Like it's too far, I think, to like travel around to work a, work around the schedule. So, but yeah, I really appreciate your personality, everything that you said. But it's just the distance stuff. I'm sorry.
Thank you. Thank you. And good luck with everything.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Carissa. Thank you. All right. So, with that said, thanks to you both. I think this is a good divine match. All right. So, this is what the next step is going to look like. I'm going to be sending you an email in a few hours for a private Zoom meeting just between the both of you, scheduled for Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Is that okay with the both of you?
Yes.
Yeah,
Sunday,
that's
3
fine.
p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, so on this Zoom meeting, it's just going to be the both of you. I'm not going to be there. The both of you can are free to exchange your contact with each other if you feel comfortable to do so. But it's just another opportunity for you to ask each other more questions, get to know each other, and then, of course, extend the conversation beyond if you decide to do so. All right. Thank you both once again. Thank you for
Thank you
participating
so
in this.
much.
And I look forward to checking up on the both of you. Yes, and I look forward to checking up on the both of you in 3 months' time. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
All
Thank you.
right.
Thank you.
Okay.
We'll do a 4 weeks and then we'll do
Yes.
a
We'll do a 4 weeks
12
check-in and then
weeks.
we'll do a 3 month check-in. Thank you very much. Have a beautiful one.
Okay. Thank
Amazing, amazing. Look at that. This is just so exciting. I love it. Well, that's all we have for you for this specific episode. However, if while watching you're a husband ready man, based on the definition that we gave, who is ready to go out there and meet a woman who you believe could be aligned with your divine destiny, and you would like to try out this platform at the well, we are definitely looking forward to serving you. All you have to do is there is a link right there in the description box below that you can click on that says Husband Ready Man. Click on that link, fill the form, send it over to us. We'll look through it and we'll reach out to you. And make sure that you're checking your inbox, spam, or promotion folder to find the email that we send to you for further details on when we will be having you on the next virtual show. If you're a single woman who would love to be on our next episode of At the Well, we also have a link in the description box for you that says Helpers Comparable. Click on it, fill the form, and we would also be sending you an email on further details on how you can be on the next edition of At the Well. Make sure you're checking your inbox, spam, or promotion folder. Also, send the link to this video to as many people as possible. This is a platform that is bringing answer to one of the major questions that Christian singles have been asking: where can I meet a godly person, a godly man or a godly woman? We're trying to solve that. So spread the word, hit that subscription button, spread the word to as many people as possible. Share it on your different social media platforms, and God bless you, of course, as you do so. We look forward to seeing you on the next episode. It's been a delight being of service to you. Thank you so much. God bless you. See you soon.